Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a silly and frivolous emperor who was very fond of new clothes. He was so addicted to clothes that he had a different outfit for every hour of the day. He ignored all the important affairs of his kingdom and only talked about clothes, clothes, and more clothes. One day, the emperor announced a grand celebration for his upcoming birthday. He called his advisors and told them that he wanted a unique outfit for his gala birthday procession. Weavers and tailors were invited from around the world, and banners were hung across the city which read, "The tailor who most impresses the emperor with his unique design will be rewarded 10,000 gold coins. But if they fail to do so, they will be punished." The news spread across the kingdom and beyond. First came an Italian tailor. The emperor was not impressed at all, for he found the clothes to be too simple. He was angry and ordered his subjects to make the weaver clean all the royal utensils for a day as punishment. Next came a renowned designer from Persia. He was very confident and boastfully displayed his best creations. Again, the emperor was not pleased. He ordered the designer to paint the walls of his court. A few days later, 2 weavers from Morocco came to show their collection to the emperor. They displayed clothes studded with diamonds, rubies, jades, and other priceless gems. Their work was so beautiful that everyone present gasped in awe. But the emperor was still not impressed. He declared that they must shave their heads and mustaches as punishment. No one wanted to try their luck at impressing the emperor after hearing about his punishments. The emperor's birthday was only a few days away, and he still had not found a suitable ensemble for himself. He became extremely sad and depressed. His ministers and advisors tried to help, but the emperor was inconsolable. The next day, 2 new weavers came to his court. They had come from a distant land and claimed that the garments they created were magical, and that these garments were visible only to clever and intelligent people, and invisible to fools. The emperor hired them immediately and told them he would give them anything they needed. The weavers requested a loom, silk, gold thread, and precious gems, but would only start working under one condition. No one would be allowed to see the emperor's magic robe before it was ready. The weavers started their work and had locked their room from the inside so that no one could enter. Days passed by, and the emperor grew curious to see how the magic robe was coming along. He sent one of his ministers for an inspection. The minister went to the workroom and knocked on the door. The weaver came out and asked, "What do you want?" The minister said he wanted to take a look at their work. The weaver frowned at him and said, "Doesn't the emperor know that no one is allowed to see his robe until it is ready?" The minister reported back to the king that the weavers had not let him inside. Hearing this only made the king more curious, and the next day he sent another advisor. But once again, the weavers would not allow anyone to take a look. The emperor could do nothing but wait. Finally, the day of his birthday procession arrived. The weavers had announced that the emperor's amazing, exclusive, one-of-a-kind magic robe was ready, and they brought him into their workroom and began to dress him. After the weavers finished dressing the emperor, they brought him a mirror so that he could see how he looked in his new clothes. But what he saw was unbelievable. He couldn't believe his eyes. He was standing naked, wearing only his underwear. He could not see any robe. The emperor was astounded, but he dare not utter a word, fearing that everyone would know that he couldn't see the magic robe and that he must be a fool. Instead, he said, "What a fantastic robe! I love it very much." The emperor went out into the streets for his gala procession. Everyone saw him in just his underwear, but no one dared to speak the truth. They praised the emperor and the robe, otherwise they would prove themselves to be a fool. Until all of a sudden, a small boy standing in the crowd shouted, "Look, the emperor is in his underwear! He's wearing nothing at all!" Everyone was shocked when they heard the boy. There was a dead silence. The emperor couldn't stop sweating. Slowly, the people realized that the boy was right. The emperor was wearing only his underwear. Everyone started to laugh. The emperor was infuriated. He rushed back to court and scolded his minister and advisor for not telling him that he was practically naked. He immediately called for the weavers. The minister dragged the weavers into the court, but they looked different. Indeed, they were the Moroccan weavers in disguise, and they had tricked the emperor in order to show him the error of his ways. The emperor felt foolish and ashamed of his behavior. He realized that he had many other important things to tend to than what he should wear. The emperor was a changed man. He released the weavers and finally took care of his kingdom and people, instead of his appearance.